Os, this is Journey to Black Belt with Charles, and this is class number 1 of the 8th KU Yellow Belt.
That's right.
And we're ready to get started on this next level. We're excited about it. And we're going to kind of do something that I like to do every once in a while, and I want to do it in this class. We're going to do a kata warm-up. Now, Charles is not familiar. He knows a little bit about kata. We've looked at it a little bit, but we're going to kind of be learning it at the same time that we're warming up, and then we're going to look at some other techniques. But the neat thing about this kata, this is called Taikyoku Shodan, which means first cause, number 1 in Japanese. Taikyoku does. So this first kata pretty much has all the elements that we had in the white belt level. So it's a really good kata to learn right off the bat. And you can do this kata over and over, and at the same time, you're practicing your, your kihon that you learned in your first level. So that's really what we're going to do with our warm-up today. And to get started with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back to the back here. And the way we're going to start this kata, you always want to start a kata by bowing, going to yoi, ready position, and then announce the kata. This is Taikyoku Shodan. Now we're going to do this with stances only the first time, and then we're going to add our elements to it. This kata is in an H pattern. Okay, so two sides mirror each other, and the run down the middle also mirrors itself. So it's kind of like it flips over on itself. The pattern I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here and go this way. Then I'm going to go across the center and go back and forth at the other end, come back and mirror the whole process again. And this whole thing is done in Zen Kokutsu-Dachi. So when I start this kata, I'm going to be going to the left. And we'll do this from your perspective also. But I start at the left, which means would be your right, if you're mirroring me in the mirror, like a mirror. Okay, I step back and I turn. See what that step back, I stepped back into Zen Kokutsu-Dachi, then I turn and I set right up into my stance here. Now this kata steps forward. I'm going to turn at 45 degrees with my belly button pointing this way. Cross step back, and you got to go way back and turn. See how I turned into Zen Kokutsu-Dachi and step through. And I'm going to step straight back, turn to the center, and see how my stance is set up in Zen Kokutsu-Dachi. Then it's 1, 2, 3. And actually there's a kiai right here at this particular step where you would give your spirit shout. Now we have a backwards turn here. This is the most difficult part of the entire kata. I'm going to turn 90 degrees to the left. My left shoulder is going around behind me. I'm going to turn 45 degrees more. I'm going to cross step way back and make the turn all the way around. Now I'm going to step through, turn 45 degrees, cross step back, turn. I'm mirroring what I did at the other end. Step through, okay, step straight back, turn, and now I've got 3 back across. 1, 2, 3. Now here's that backwards turn again. 90, 45, cross step back, turn all the way. Step forward, cross step back, step forward, and that's the end. And then you'll bow at the end. Okay, there's 21 steps.
That's it, 21?
21 steps.
We got this, my boys.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is Charles is gonna do this from your perspective to start out here. If you'll start out right here, Charles, on this side. So I turned to the left down here a while ago, so he's going to be going to the left here, stepping to the left first. But remember, the first thing we did, I'm going to be over here. Okay, the first thing that we did is we bowed, Yoi, which is ready position, and this is Taikyoku Shodan.
Taikyoku Shodan.
Right. So now we're going to take our left leg and we step straight back. Now you want to put your hands on your hips is really the best way to do this. Now if I go back far enough and I step into a good forward balance, I can turn and I'm ready to go. Okay, so this is one, and we step forward. Now this is where we turn a little bit at 45 degrees. Everybody follow along with us. Okay, you cross step back. Remember, you have to go way back, and you turn. Good, and you need to be in a good floor balance. If you feel like you're not in a good floor balance, you need to hold up and, you know, adjust yourself and get there. So from here, we're going to step forward one time. Okay, now we're going to go straight back and turn to the center. You step straight back and turns to the center. So now you want to look at your floor balance. Are you in a good floor balance? Now it's 3 across the center. He's got great posture going. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Very good. Good floor balances across, great posture. You want to watch that as you go. Now here's the part that's kind of tricky. He's going to turn his left shoulder backwards this way. That's what you need to do. He's going to go 90 degrees, 45. Then he's going to step way back, right by this back leg, okay, and turn this way. See, now he's in a really good floor balance now. You have to step way back when you're at this 45 degrees and you got to step way back here. Or what happens is you don't get set up properly for that. Now he's going to step forward one time. Okay, turn it 45 degrees to the right a little bit. Now he's going to have to cross step way back behind him again. And turn. Pretty good. Okay, step forward. Okay, now we're ready to go. He's ready to step back and go back across the kata. Okay,
Straight back?
Yeah, straight back. Okay, turn to the front. Okay, now what's wrong with our legs?
I feel a little wide and I'm not forward.
Yeah, he's not. So go ahead and adjust yourself. You want to do that. Right now, you want to make sure all your stances and everything are right. So you want to go slow. You know, people try to blaze through this, and everything is slow, and then you speed up and you speed up and you speed up. And by the time you're a black belt, it's just, you know, everything's really smooth and strong. So it's a building process. So now he's going to go back across 3 times. It's 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now what do we do?
Big turn again?
This is the big turn.
Left shoulder?
Left shoulder goes backwards. Very good. Then he's going to cross step back and turn, right turn. And that's correct. That's a good floor balance. Okay, step forward. Cross step back.
This one?
No, you got to, this is where that 45 degrees, you turn your belly button about 45 degrees this way and cross step way back. There you go. Make your turn. Good. Now step forward. Excellent. From here, it's the end of the kata. So you come to here, feet together, re, and yo. And that's the end of the kata.
Right.
Okay, good. So there's 21 steps in that. There's 21 steps in that. And what you want to do is you want to do that over and over and over.
You're going to want to watch this over and over.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch
I
it.
know if you guys are anything like me, you're going to be pretty overwhelmed by this. I mean, I have John here calling out instructions every step of the way here for me. So it might look like I know what I'm doing here, but without John here calling out every step to me, I'd be completely lost. So this is something that's going to take repetition and practice. For sure.
Right, it does. And you do that over and over, and then we add the kihon to it. Okay, I'm going to do it one time myself with the kihon in it. We bow. Taikyoku Shodan. Step back. Geranbara. Okay, so what did I do? I'm just here, I prepared, came around, did my down block. Now I'm going to mark the target, step forward, and oizuki. Cover, geranbara. Oizuki. Now we're going to go back down the center. Step straight back. Geranbara. Okay, then it's 1, 2, 3. This big turn. You see how I made that snap? One, 2, 3. Hey! Another ki. Focus and recharge. Bow and end. Okay, I do that little focus and recharge to regather my energy afterwards. Because if you do a kata right, you expend some energy as you go through it. Once you know the kata, you need to put, snap and power into your kata and flow. And that takes a long time to do that. A lot of people don't get that till they're, blue belt or brown belt even. I mean, really good flow and nice snap and good power all at the same time, So anyway, we've got that for you to follow along with. You want to give that a shot or?
Am I ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I can call it out for you.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to turn left first, right? Yeah, left. I step back and cover. Turn and down block. Step forward and strike. Very good. Now, I'm going to cover. Other arm. It's going to be right arm up, left arm out. Okay, cross step back. Turn, down block. Good. There you go. Good adjustment. Okay, step forward to oizuki. Okay, now you're going to cover. Other arm. Step straight back. Turn and down block. There you go. Now we're going to go 3 across. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. Hey! That's where the ki is at. From here, I'm going to cover. Left arm is up. Step straight back. Turn. Geranbara. Okay, step forward, oizuki. Good. Now, we're going to cover, right arm up, left arm down.
Right arm. This?
No, other way. There you go. Okay, cross step back. Okay, turn, down block. Good. Step forward, oizuki. Okay, cover, left arm up, right arm down. Step straight back, turn. Geranbara. Now we're going to go across here with 3. Okay? Ich, ni, and san. Hey!
Hi.
Now, it's left arm up, right arm down. This is the big turn. Okay, turn, down block. Okay, good. Step forward and punch. Okay, right arm up, left arm down. Cross step back, turn, down block. Good, step forward and punch. Okay, good. Now here, this is where we go into yoi. You just step straight back into yoi. A lot of times I'll do the focus and recharge here. Then I'll go to my Tsubidachi, bow, and yoi. And we're at the end. Okay, good. I know it's confusing the first time, folks.
It's got some steps for sure.
It has some changes in arms. You know, like when you're doing Gedan Badai, you have to get used to which arm you're fixing to down block with. So that's another part of the thought process. So once again, rewind, you know, on the lesson and on this, and perform it over and over and over. And then when you do it so many times, your body just knows. That's what you want to do. You want to do it so many times that there's really no thought in it. You know, there's no thought. No thought is telling you you're getting there. Okay, so that's Taikyoku Shodan, and have fun with that. Katas are a lot of fun. So next technique is our first kihon of this level that we're going to learn. This is brand new for us, and this is a tachi kata, which is a stance. This tachi kata is called the back stance, Kokutsu-Dachi. And the back stance is a stance that we're going to use where we're gaining some ground away from the target. Like if I'm here, like we're right here, and I step back into this back stance, see how I gained? See, I gained ground away from him, or I'm backing away from the target some, and I can execute a pseudo or some type of block, and it gives me some room to kick or maneuver. So you can step forward and use it also, but most of the time that's used, you're stepping back and putting some ground between you and your opponent. That's the way I use it a lot anyway. So in Kokutsu-Dachi, you can take a line. What we're going to do is we have some lines here on the floor. You can put a piece of tape on the ground or whatever. But the way to start this stance is I'm going to put my foot at, not really at 45 degrees, but you know, 90 degrees is about probably 70 degrees off of this line that's running right here. And this other foot, I'm going to place heel to heel. That's what I'm doing. Now in Kokutsu-Dachi, I'm going to step out, and right now I'm going to get this way to the camera. He's straight up and down that line. Now my center of gravity is straight down right now, okay? That means that I have equal weight on both of these legs. In Kokutsu-Dachi, there's about 60 or 70% on your back leg. So there's a shifting back. See this leg here, I'm putting the weight into the back here. So this center of gravity actually goes back somewhat. You see what I'm saying? So you're leaning back in this stance. And you can see your toes. You should be able to see your toes in this. You shouldn't be able to see your whole foot. If you see your whole foot, that means your foot's out too far. Okay, so this is Kokutsu-Dachi. So we're going to practice that. We're going to stand here and put our foot on the line, make our L, put our hands on our hips. We're going to step out and shift. Okay, see how I shifted my weight back?
And that back foot stays.
Yeah, that back foot.
We're not bringing that out at all.
We're not bringing that out at all. So you should have more weight back here on this leg than you do on that front leg. Yeah.
And then what about our belly button, our shoulder position? Where are we at there?
Your belly button is at about 45 degrees. It wouldn't be here. It's about 45 degrees. And what I do is I feel that lean back a little bit, and I try to keep my posture straight. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's do that again. We're back here. Now, I usually don't go 90 degrees here. You're kind of 90 with your back foot. I usually go maybe 70 degrees off of this line here, like that. Okay, then I'll step out and shift to get into that stance. Okay, let's do it on the other side now. Okay, we'll put our feet in the L here. We'll step out. Okay, then we shift back. Yeah, and good posture there. That's good. Very good. Okay, that's Kokutsu-Dachi. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple of these now. I'm going to step out in this first one. Okay, I'm going to bring my feet together. Step out into the next one and shift back. Yeah, feet together.
Make this switch.
Now make your switch and step out. Yeah, lean back some there. Okay, good. Good, now let's do that again. We'll start here. We're going to start on this side. Okay, let's step out. Okay, feet together, knees are bent. Step out, shift back. Okay, good. Feet back together. Knees should be bent. Step back and shift back. See, we're shifting that weight off of that center and putting it back on our back leg. Okay, and feet back together. Okay, and shift back. There you go. Now go backwards. Okay, good. And back. Okay, good. Now feet back together. Okay, the hard part for me is my knees. I've been doing this a long time. It puts a lot of stress. Kokutsu-Dachi puts a lot of stress on this back muscle, whatever muscle's in back, and puts a lot of stress in your knees. So be aware of that if you have knee problems. You can have some issues with that. If you do, you need to let me know that you have knee issues.
What he's talking about is this back leg right here.
Yeah, you feel all that stress.
A lot of weights on there. And
a lot of weights on there.
It's a slightly awkward position, so.
Yeah, a lot of stress is in that knee too. Well, I can feel it. He's young, but my knee, I can really feel it. So that's a good stance. Okay, that's Kokutsu-Dachi. You can do it in steps. Like if I put my feet together here, Charles, I can step into Renoji-Dachi. We're also talking about Renoji-Dachi today. Renoji-Dachi is just called an L stance. And it's a small stance with my weight is distributed equally across both of my legs. So I can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, step out, and 3, and shift back. And that's your 3-step for this particular stance. Then I could shift this way. That's called a mewate. And I can go 1, 2 into Renoji-Dachi. 3, step all the way out and back. Good. 1, 2, Renoji-Dachi. And 3 all the way out and back. Okay, good. Excellent. Now we turn back toward the front. When you do a mewate, it's just a shift in Kokutsu-Dachi. It's a little different than doing it in Zen Kokutsu-Dachi. Okay, now let's bring our feet back together. So that's Kokutsu-Dachi and Redirection. And of course in our next class we're going to be doing floor drills with these. But we just want to get a feel for these today and step in and out of them. That's what we want you to do over the next week is, you know, step into this stance, you know, see how it feels, make sure everything's in the right place, you know, bring your stance back like that.
Yeah, you're gonna want to practice that one for sure to get that back leg strength up, because you know I'm pretty active. I like lifting weights and doing all kinds of physical activities, and you know I feel my leg getting tired almost immediately. It's trying to hold that stance.
Yeah, people don't realize how much strength it takes to do these stances. These stances are really, really good for your good for your legs and your overall body strength. So that is Kikuchi-Dachi and Redirection. Now we're going to look at Shuto-Uke today. Shuto-Uke is called the knife hand block. So the knife hand is, I take my hand and I bring my thumb in. I don't want to have my thumb out when I do a Shuto. If you do that, I've seen people get their thumbs broken, okay, when they're doing one steps or fighting or whatever. So you want to keep that thumb in. I keep my thumb in, just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get in Redirection first. Okay, in Redirection, we're gonna mark the target. My belly button and my shoulders are square this way. Okay, and I mark the target right here, and I'm going to take my pseudo hand and bring it up here to my ear. We're going to do this in steps. This is 1, 2. I'm going to slide this hand down to right here. 3. Now it's going to be like I'm pulling. You know, like we were starting a lawnmower with Gedan Barai and some of the other techniques. It's sort of the same way. I'm going to twist my whole torso, twist, and there's a flick right here at the end. So I'm here and flick. So there's a twist in my body. So it's 1, 2, 3. Just like that. See how I'm rolling my body and that hand is twisting at the same time. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. And he's got his elbow in here pretty good. From school to school, this is done differently in some schools. It's really, a lot of it's the master instructor and how he wants to teach it. I came up in a fighting school, so I'm very particular about my elbow being a little bit closer in. Some people want to try to pseudo out here like this. You don't want to do that because your opponent will grab your arm and kick you right in your short ribs or hit you in the short ribs. And you can't do anything about it. I mean, they've got you in a compromised position. So I'm here, and see how my elbow is in here? And folks, I'm guilty of doing that too. I've seen myself in video, but that's not something you want to do. Okay, you want to be here like this and redirect that energy or that strike away from you. So let's do that again. I'm going to be right here at an angle. Okay, I'm in Redirection to start with. We're going to do this in Kokutsu-Dachi too. But I point, my shoulders are square to my target, I mark the target, and then we're going to turn. Yeah, we turn here. Pull your hand up a little bit. Yeah, like that. From here. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the whole redirection thing, once again, the hip follows the block. The hip follows the block. I'm here, this hip is going to go toward the block. Okay? See how it follows? So it comes around and it follows that block. Okay, so let's do that again. Here we got 1, 2, 3. Good, now let's do the other side. In Renoji-Dachi. Okay, so I'm going to be at an angle here again. I point, remember my shoulders are square to the target. I bring my hand up, it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, again. 1, 2, 3. Good, again. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good, now let's go back to the other side. I step out in my back stance to where I start my back stance, right? Okay, so my weight is in the center of my body right now. My shoulders, I square them to my target, and it's 1, 2, now watch this. Yeah, I'm setting back and I'm redirecting that energy that way. Good. So I'm here. And set back. There you go. Now you want to have your hand up a little bit right there. Good. Now do that again. Mark your target. He's square to the target. Okay, then he comes down. Now set back. There you go. That's it. That's Pseudo. That's Kokutsu-Dachi and Pseudo. Okay, so what I want you to do, and what he needs to do is he needs to go home, and this is that same thing. I want to step out, and I want to practice my Pseudo. I'm going to practice my back stance and my Pseudo at the same time, and go slow. Make sure everything's in the right spot. Okay, he's going to come out, pull, twist, and set back. There you go. See how he's correcting everything, and that's fine. That's what we're going to have at first till we get it down. And he can do that over as many times as he needs to. And set back. Good. Yeah. So you do that on that side, go to the other side, practice it over and over. Look at yourself in a mirror if you have a mirror. If you don't have a mirror, you can do it for a while, practice it a while, and shoot a little piece of video. You got a phone, whatever, just shoot yourself, have your wife or whoever shoot you just a short video and take a look at it.
It really helps.
Video speaks
I've got a mirror in
volumes, you know. So anyway, that's Pseudo, the Shuto-Uke. One last technique, and then we're going to do a cool down. The last technique is Tettsui-Uchi. Tetsu means hammer fist. Okay, so what I'm going to do to perform a Tetsu is I make a fist just like this, just like I'm going to punch. But a Tetsu, you're striking right here with this meaty part of your hand. Okay, and you're using it like a hammer. It's like I'm taking a hammer and striking. So if I do this hammer fist, you know, I can step and I can smash somebody right in the nose with it. Okay, or I can block with it. I can come down and block. In this particular instance, we're using this in a kata, where we do an oizuki. We draw back into Renoji-Dachi, and this is a loop strike. I'm going to make a circle. I'll make a circle, come around and strike. So I'm here and perform that Tetsu. So the main thing is you want to know that you're here, you draw back and perform that circular strike.
So we're in Zenkatsu-Dachi.
Okay, we're in Zenkatsu-Dachi like we just made a strike. So you're already in that fist here, and you draw back into Renoji-Dachi.
Bring your leg in.
Yeah, you bring your leg in and you strike. Okay, and you can just practice this movement like this, but it's also good to do this. You know, step forward in oizuki. and step back into Renoji-Dachi and perform that strike. Okay, now pull back and perform your strike. Yeah, and get used to that motion. That's in the first kata, Heian Shodan, which means peaceful mind one, which is the first of the traditional katas. Then you're going to draw back on that side. You draw back. Yeah, and perform that to Tetsu. So if I'm here, you know, so whatever hand is out, if I'm here in Zenkatsu-Dashi, I draw back. Here like that. And you want to just practice that on both sides. And then next week, we're gonna do dynamic drills. And maybe even some pad work, especially with the Tetsu. It's good to feel how much power you really have to have, you know, in using that strike. And any of those strikes, if you have bags and things, or a pillow, or anything you can strike. So let's do a cool down right quick, Charles. You can do whatever you want there. We haven't done any stretching. He can stretch out a little bit.
Remember guys, if you aren't watching this on the GMAU site, that is the best place to go and get just in-depth, great tutorials on all these techniques and how they're used and broken down into drills and everything. So
yep.
If you aren't watching this on the GMAU right now, go over to the globalmartialarts.university site and check out everything they offer over there as far as step-by-step tutorials on, you know, every single one of these techniques and drills. And yeah, man, earn your black belt just like me.
Yep. Yeah, all of the GMAU material is the main storehouse of the lessons, and you can go in there and dig a lot of information and drills out in there. And this class, we're hoping to point a lot of things out that you don't see in those lessons because of the live situation that we have. Helps us to draw things out. So that's kind of the way Charles is using it. I know he's learning it here, and then he's actually going and looking at the lessons and working those things out.
Yeah, and it helps to mix it up too, because you know, just watching that same technique or that same drill video over and over again, like you said, there's some stuff that you might not extrapolate from that, that you could get from our interactions and us, you know, talking and me asking questions. Yep. So I think that's a great resource. And
be sure and hit us up on our Facebook, or Charles has Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, we're all over the place, man. If you guys have any questions or need any help, we're both here.
All right. Anyway, good class. Let's feet together. Ray. Joy. All right. Hope you enjoyed class. Blessings to you and your family, and we'll see you in the next class.